This is the Healey Brothers podcast.
George Robinson, welcome to the Healey Pod. We appreciate your time, and this is one of our segments of the Employee Spotlight, and it's about you, and we appreciate you being part of our team. And I know you're at WS, now you're over here at Healey Poughkeepsie, a little closer to home, so the drive's not as bad, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
But let's start off. Let's give a little background. What made you want to be a technician, and where you started?
I mean, I've always had a love for cars. My father was a mechanic technician, if you will. I would help him in the garage doing stuff, you know. I just grew from there. I would help friends as I grew up. And then I made the decision to go to University Technical Institute, down in Houston, where I graduated automotive technology. And pretty much there, my career path just opened up, and, you know.
That's pretty, Texas. That's a far ways away.
Oh, I mean, back then there was only 4 campuses. One was like the Marine Institute down in Florida, and then there was one in California, the one in Houston, and then one in Michigan, I think it was. And I didn't feel like dealing with the bitter cold, so I went down to the warmer weather.
Yeah, Houston's not a bad place to live for a bit to learn. Yeah, learn your craft. So you and your dad just used to work on the weekends or on your cars, or like a little kid, or
like he would do side work, so I would go over to his friend's house, help him do stuff, cylinder heads on cars, kind of like.
you still in love with it?
Yeah, I always had the mechanical aptitude, you know, to do it. And
did you ever think about doing anything else, or was just always the love for cars?
when I was in high school, I went to BOCES for aircraft maintenance. You know, but it just seems like the 4 wheels on the ground has always been my passion.
All right. So you started down this road, and you've taken it pretty far to the highest possible level.
Yep.
In GM's eyes, it's the world-class technician. So let's talk about that journey. What made you want to go there and strive? And let's take us from the beginning, where that started, where you said, "Hey, I'm going to go for this," and then how it ended. So let's start at the beginning there.
In the beginning of my career, I worked at a few independent shops, and then I found a dealership to work at. Sorry, we mentioned their name.
No, you can mention that. We're just starting. No, this is complete open book. Let's go ahead.
Which was Romeo Chevrolet, over in Lake Katrine. And there I saw a couple of the other guys there that were at that time world-class technicians, and I'm like, you know, I want that. You know, and then just started evolving, doing all of the web-based training, you know, the video class training as well, and then finally going down to hands-on, and just, you know, my original path was just going to be, you know, world-class with a diesel cert. But as my experience and my knowledge grew, you know, it became where I'm actually certified diesel and certified, you know, got it on, you know, with a world-class status. So
yeah, so obviously it's a ton of training. Not many technicians get it. And do you have the number? It's like a very small amount, right? And
it's like less than 1,500.
Yeah, it's something crazy like that. I mean, and that's pretty insane. So what made you want to do it for GM? Was there other brands in mind, or?
Honestly, no. I've always had a love for General Motors vehicles. I mean, I was able to muscle cars, Corvettes, Camaros. You know, back in the day when Pontiac was around, the Firebird. You know, so I've always had a love for the muscle. But it's just I've always had, you know, a good understanding with General Motors, and this has been that path.
That's awesome. I mean, obviously some people say, oh, they don't love what they do. It seems like you really love what you do.
No, I do. And especially being here with the Healey Brothers, you know, family, I'll call it, and working with, you know, John Perazio, you know, JP as we call him. You know, he's been a great, you know, help. You know, because sometimes unfortunately you go to some places and it's just like they just don't see the love that I feel here, or even with Healey Brothers itself. I mean, even over at WS, it was good, but being closer to home is a lot better.
Yeah, a little less of a drive, and also you have JP, who's, I mean, you don't have many actually in our organization. We have a bunch of, we're once a technician, now a service director, so that's pretty amazing. And the guy is unbelievably intelligent. He's actually helping us at our new store, which is like he's put in time over there and help us out because we don't have a service manager yet. So the guy we're blessed to have him. Obviously, he knows a ton. Sometimes he makes my head spin with some of the knowledge. He breaks into numbers. So I could understand that as a whole for sure. So what is the go-to car for you? How about the new cars that are coming out, the new technology? How has that been?
God, I mean, there's so much. I mean, I think if I were to buy a brand new car today, it would definitely most likely probably be an electric vehicle.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
I'm curious. you don't hear that from many technicians when we speak to them about like when we dive deep in it. So can you elaborate a little more on that?
I mean, yeah, muscle cars are nice and having high horsepower, rumbling V8s are cool, but at the same time, like electric vehicles have that torque and that power compared to an 8-cylinder engine. Yeah, okay, you can't stop at a gas station, put gas in and keep going, but like you get next to an electric vehicle and you put your pedal to the floor, it's definitely gonna do some damage.
So you're all about the torque and the speed and stuff like that. I mean, you can't deny it. The technology's
A lot of technology is great too. I mean, even all our new vehicles, a lot of the EVs have Super Cruise. They have all the creature comforts of even a naturally aspirated vehicle. It's just like,
How hard are those to work on, the EVs? I mean, I've heard they're super difficult, but obviously a guy of your status and
to
ability.
me, they're not difficult. It's just basically when it gets down to it is basically the diagnostic side is where it really gets into it. Like, a lot of the mechanical parts, replacing, the high voltage battery is not all that difficult. As long as you follow service information, it's not like you're gonna leave yourself, in a
Some of the tech stuff is hard to find, the diagnosis of that, and
Yeah.
I believe, but I mean, we have all the good tools to figure it out eventually, whether we work with GM's hotline, that's what they call it, right? The GM hotline.
Now it's CX Connect, but it was,
Connect.
but
There's so many, Ford hotline and all the other ones, so. All right, well, that's good.
yeah.
So I'm still shocked you chose EV. I didn't think, I thought we were gonna hear ZR1 or something like that, or.
I mean, 01 is a beautiful machine. There's no question about it. I just think it's definitely, as far as a comfort aspect, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a small guy, and it's just like sitting in one of those.
Yeah.
It's,
My dad's a tiny guy, and he still has trouble getting in and out of it. So
yeah.
So I can understand that.
Like I know I can get into it and drive it and be okay, but I think just every day or even like on the weekends, it's just not. I would love to have one sitting in my stall at my house and be like, open the hood, open up the garage door, be like, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
Or get to work on it a little bit, something like that. I hear you. All right, so we're gonna change tides here a little bit. What made you really want to join Healey Brothers from another dealership?
realistically, I mean, one thing you'll always notice, especially if you're in the job search area, is that there's always other places looking for technicians or employees of any variety. And it's very rare to see on a hiring platform that Healey's looking for, technicians. So when I saw that window opportunity, I applied. And I've always looked, it's just, that's how it's always been. And I saw the window opportunity and, I was able to sit down and got the job position.
Did you hear it like word of mouth, friends, or because technicians seem to have their close niche guys where they kind of know someone from somewhere?
Not word of mouth. I mean, I saw it on, a hiring site, Indeed, I was like, I dropped my resume through and, I was reached out and I was pretty excited actually when they actually, contacted me because I know, it's at the time, trying to find technicians, but also, seeing that they're looking for somebody who knows how fast somebody's going to jump into that spot and, kind of take it out from underneath.
Yeah, I always refer to you guys as the backbone of Healey and our industry. You guys is what keep customers coming back, fixing their cars, and making them happy to also have confidence in that brand going forward. So, technicians are our backbone. We rely heavily on you guys, and we tend to think we have the best ones in the industry. I mean,
I do think so. I mean, I worked with a lot of individuals, throughout the Healey Brothers, at least the General Motors side, Chevrolet, over at WS and here, and there's a lot of great, young individuals that are actually in this industry in our buildings that are very good.
Seem like we have some really driven guys that really want to be the best they could be and also help the customer at the end of the day. So I mean, you don't really find that a lot of dealerships. When you go to dealerships, it's guys like, they're kind of just there because they fell into the technician world and don't want to go do something else. So it's good to see guys with passion, especially like yourself. So we appreciate every second of that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your role, your day-to-day action here at the shop.
I mean, it always varies, obviously, but being on the world-class status, especially as well as myself and John Jr. And Tommy Gill, we're always getting the big stuff, the big diagnostic jobs, and coming in the morning, getting things set up, just diagnostics is basically the biggest thing. Like,
so it's all the big stuff, whether it's from engine and we've had some engines lately, to say the least.
I'm currently doing one there.
Or transmission or something like that. They're going to the top guys because we need the highest quality experience on it and also the highest levels that know what's actually going on to diag it as fast as possible and get that car back in the road for the customer, because everyone can't be without a car. So that's super important. So your day-to-day is diag, the hardest stuff. So it's not the easiest day to start your day with it.
No.
But that's awesome to hear.
Started about your role at Vincent's when Vincent first started.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. And this comes into the team aspect. So what do you think about that? And then we'll lead into Vincent as well.
I mean, I think it's really great, especially when, JP has this mentorship for the master technicians or the, higher trained technicians to, I guess what I put it is, take the new guys underneath their wing and mentor them. Vincent is a great guy. He actually came from another repair shop, but he also worked at Bosie's, where his teacher gave him a high regard to, so that's when JP brought him on. But his mechanical aptitude is awesome. His work ethic is really good as well. And he's very good to learn. Like I said, I mean, like
So how do you like mentoring?
I enjoy it.
You seem to be pretty damn good at it. So
sometimes it gets a little frustrating, but because I mean, we're all cut from a different cloth. We're all do certain things a certain way, but like I wouldn't trade it for anything as long as I know if I see potential in the person, I definitely want to invest my time with them. That's without question. I don't, tell them to go away. I don't put none of that behind them. And
it really shows that you're a leader in the shop as well for that team. We try to build that team orientation there. I know JP is all about team, and just all the team gets together, you all grow together. And whether it's make more money or helping more guys get better, so you can rely on them, say you need help, or I mean, you're usually doing the helping, but vice versa if it ever comes that day. So that's great to you. I mean, we really appreciate that. I mean, that means the world to us, Healey's, that you guys take your time to invest in other guys to get better. You don't have to do it, but you go out of your way to do it, and it shows true leadership. So thank you for doing that for sure. All right, so now to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. If you had to give advice to someone looking to get into the field of auto, what would you say to them?
It's definitely a great career path to be on. One thing I always suggest to anybody who's interested in becoming a technician is spend a lot of time learning the electrical aspect of it. And I don't just mean electrical vehicles. I'm talking about like just anything between communication of modules of the vehicle, how wiring diagrams work, how things communicate with one another. That's the best place to spend your time and focus on that. Everything else will come to you after that fact, because like everything else is somewhat simplistic, replacing an engine, doing brakes, but when it comes down to it, I really, especially with the technology, the way things are going today, with these vehicles, electrical is definitely the path you really want to.
I also say you guys got to become like engineers at the same time. It's
like as a technician, we're plumbers, we're HVAC guys, we're electricians, and we're more mechanical.
You're every trade job you've owned.
Yeah. Other than being a carpenter, not really every part of the car.
Or you guys want, we can start building Healey cars outside. So would you recommend them, like say a new person not knowing what they want to do, not whether they want to go to college, should they go to a trade school?
With the Healey Brothers themselves, the Healey franchise themselves, the corporation, the family as I call it, if they walk through the front door here, I want to say no technical school, because obviously we have, JP, who has his training, set up where like you're coming in here.
Second to none, there's nothing.
Exactly. You got, dealership level training with master technicians, world-class technicians to help you. It'll be over your shoulder. You got your hands-on training through General Motors. Like, if this is what you really desire, that is your best venue without putting yourself into debt. Or I mean, like
it's a real world experience. What's better than that?
Yeah. And you're getting paid while you do it. So it's like, I think it's the best of both worlds. Now if they're not really inept for that thing, yes, an automotive technical school is your second best bet.
Just to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But also, I think we've had a lot of guys, right, that just come say they have an interest in auto, and they end up being technicians that are driven. We expect that, and they become some of our best technicians.
Yeah. We have a gentleman downstairs now, Anthony. He just started not that long ago.
I was drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah, he came in here.
And we have the tool program, which is a great start for those young guys, because tools are expensive. That's another drawback too. So which is
yeah, I think that's a great thing. I mean, I never heard of that until I started working, for Healey Brothers. It's just like, I know like people, wow, we're really just spending $14,000 on a tool setup for a new technician. I understand there's, they got to they sign a contract for 3 years and everything like that, but that's awesome. No, I never ever heard that ever in any business.
Well, George, your answer literally just caught me off guard for the training aspect, and I just that was phenomenal, and it goes a long way, and also shows that from the top down we're doing something right, and you guys are doing the right thing every day to really be able to speak that. So, again, we really appreciate everything down here. We appreciate it starting here from the first part and giving us a chance to also help you get better as a technician and grow our team. It's super, super important. And to many, many more years with the Healey Group. I know JP loves having you. So again, thank you.
Yeah, I definitely don't plan on moving on any place else unless I happen to move out of state.
Yeah. That could be a one because we live in New York State. So. Yeah. So sometimes our weather's been better though. So that's one thing.
The weather's never been an issue for me. I mean, obviously, especially being 10 minutes away now, it's like around the corner. Yeah, you
can roll out of bed and come here.
Even if it's a snowstorm, I know I can get here in a relatively easy fashion because it's 10 minutes away.
Yeah. Well, again, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the Employee Spotlight. And just to throw it out there, you're on the 100th episode of Healey Brothers Pod. So I was supposed to, Nikki's gonna be mad at me. I was supposed to say that in the beginning of the episode, but so congrats again on being the 100th episode, and thanks for doing it.
Yeah, I definitely encourage all the Healey employees to at least.
They should. People want to know about who works at Healey.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about before we went live some people just think it's a car dealership, but there is a curiosity what goes on behind closed doors. What kind of people are working on your cars? What our salesmen do? It's not just all corporate wide. We like to have some fun. We have personality. We're people too. So it's super important.
Even being here, like sometimes you see a new face, you're like, who's that? What do they do?
Yeah.
I mean, you got young individuals up here who do all the clerical stuff. I have no idea who. I know like few names, but I don't know exactly what they do.
Yeah.
Or where they came from. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. There's also a lot. We have so many employee members and team members, but it's good to get your name out there. And I really, again, I can't say thank you enough.
Yeah. And now it's growing more with the new build.
Yeah. That one I got to start learning people's names better. I haven't got that down yet, but
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.